This is a big guess. This is a big call. I could look very silly here, you understand? I'm kind of confident, I must say. What is going on, guys? It is Zigzag here. Welcome back to another Geoguessr video. So I was really feeling that Skewed World the other day. The world record on the sheet sits at 16, so I really think that's achievable considering we got 12 on my first attempt after 10 minutes the other day. So I said we get straight into things here. Not really expecting anything too impressive here, but also just really hoping that we can have some flashes of greatness so I get inspired to go get this world record. So the first one here feels quite Peruvian. I want to say we got double yellow lines over here, so that's really helpful. Could be Bolivia. Could really be Bolivia or even Brazil here. The yellow kind of painted curb here is interesting. I think I lean Bolivia actually over Peru. Obviously, there's not quite so many areas in Peru that are this green, so I'm going to go for Bolivia here. Ends up being in Ecuador, in Colombia there, so not a good start, but that is kind of how this map works. So you kind of have to take those ones in your stride. This one is actually kind of hard to tell if it's Southeast Asia or if it's actually Latin America. I think it's Latin America, but I can't quite make it out. And so I think then we're probably driving right-hand side of the road because of the way this red reflector is kind of set up for right-hand drive, I think. And so I'm even thinking of Ecuador here or Colombia. Yeah, maybe Colombia again, actually, over Ecuador, but one of the two. Otherwise, I also thought of Philippines here. I'm going to go for Colombia. Ends up being Ecuador, just. So unfortunately, losing a couple of toss-ups here at the start of the video. But this is mostly how the map goes, really. Okay, this one feels very Nigerian. This house looks Nigerian. So I think I'm just going to go for that straight away here. And we are correct. It was in Lekki. And the next one feels very New Zealand-like. Could be Australia. Sun is to the north, so Southern Hemisphere for sure. This map, for whatever reason, has a ton of Colombia and a ton of New Zealand. So thinking New Zealand is pretty safe here. I think it would be very, very green for Australia. And I'm going to go in Palmerston North area here. Ends up being on the North Island, so that's a good little guess. Of course, the thing about this map, if you haven't already noticed, is that we're always facing away from the road. So there's a lot of clues that you can't use in this one that you normally would be able to. This is what makes the high score so very low. And all we need is 14 to get onto the record sheets as well. This one feels a tougher round for sure. Bit of redness in this soil here. I was thinking like Albania or something like that. There's kind of like a dirtish road. Maybe even Turkey. But why do I kind of like Albania? We don't see any rifts, unfortunately. Otherwise, this round would be pretty easy. But yeah, Albania? Something, I can't shake the feeling. Maybe Italy or, yeah, Bulgaria, Greece, Turkey, something like that. That's really what I'm thinking here. But I don't really have any good evidence for it. I'm going to go for Albania because that was my first thought. Ooh. That's a nice guess. Okay, so that's actually a legitimately difficult round there. This one is Austria. We got an Austrian bollard there with a little top in the Generation 4. That is some new Slovenia Generation 4. I forgot. Okay, well, yeah. So I kind of went a bit hasty there. So Slovenia and Austria just got a lot harder to distinguish from one another because of the new Gen 4 that is in Slovenia. This is the first time I've ever encountered it on Geoguessr. So there you go. We lose our streak like that, which is a bit silly. I only thought of it just after I hit guess. So our first streak was about 4 there, I think. 3 or 4. So yeah, decent. I think it was 3, actually. So next one here, we're on a big highway. White road lines. Driving right. The sun is to the south, so northern hemisphere. I almost thought of Chile, but it's not Chile. So now I'm thinking of like Italy or something like Italy maybe. I'm going to go for it just because it came to mind first. Ends up being in South Korea. Wow. That was a difficult round, to be fair. Not really much to go off of, so it was always going to be a hard one. Probably could have got it if I thought about it a bit longer. And so this one feels probably Canadian or USA. Might actually lean Canada here, but really not too sure. This landscape feels maybe like Newfoundland or something like that. I'm going to go for that. Ends up being in northern Alberta, so complete wrong river. There we are. Complete wrong place. We're in Pierce River there. And the next one, we have Taiwanese poles, so that's really nice. This one's definitely Taiwanese. It has kind of like the thinner stripes that go all the way down to the bottom of the pole. And so let's guess somewhere out here. Ends up being on the other side of Tainan City, so a very nice score. This one is it's a bit easier because we can see the road a bit here, but still not entirely sure what country it is. It almost feels like it could be Taiwan again, you know, even though it's remarkably flat. I feel like this is kind of what the east coast of Taiwan looks like if you get a particularly flat spot like over here or something like that. Could we be exactly there? Kind of don't mind that, to be honest. Other possibilities, maybe maybe Philippines is also possible. The fact that we have these solid outside lines is quite Taiwanese, though. I think that's the main thing kind of pushing me towards Taiwan here. So I'm going to go for that. Whew, ends up being correct. That's actually really, really nice. Had the mountains and the compass to help us out there for sure. This one feels Baltic or Russian. Might just go Russia. I feel like Russia's kind of overall the more likely option here. Also because Baltics tend to have more trees than this, but could easily be like Lithuania or... For whatever reason, I'm feeling like, I don't feel Latvia, but I do kind of feel like there's places in Lithuania and Estonia that look like this. Anyway, I'm just going to go for Russia, like I said. Ends up being in Russia, right near Kazakhstan, so wrong area, but still a fine guess. And this one, Apteka, so some kind of, is it kind of like a pharmacy or something like that, I think. Can we get any language here that's actually going to help us? Okay, it almost feels like a Hungarian, I think. Grunwaldska. Maybe it's Hungarian or Polish, but I forget which one it should be, to be honest. We've got a Skoda here. Cars are not too helpful here. CZ. CZY. Yeah. It could be Czechia as well. I really screw up these languages so often. I should know them better by now, but yeah. ZL is the currency. ZL. Oh, I know that... Well, I think in Poland they use euros. I know that in Czechia they use their own type of krona. But ZL might be Hungarian. I feel like they might use euros in Hungary as well. I should know this stuff, but I really don't. Maybe because it's got a CZ ending there, I might go for Czechia here. Is it silly? It certainly feels relatively Czech. And we do have a Skoda as well, which is something you do tend to see a lot in Czechia. So I think I'm going to go for it here. ZL. Is it right? No, ZL in Poland. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong about something there. I don't really know. Anyway, we weren't too close to Czechia anyway, so we lose it on the 5th round there, but let's just keep going. It's not too bad, it's not too bad. Still a decent effort so far, and yeah, let's continue on here for the next round, which is a difficult one because we're so close to the road here, or to the rock wall. Lots of banana plants, feels very Asian to me, so I might just go fast into Philippines here. Ends up being correct, and even a nice guess. So yeah, I wasn't really sure, but just thought I'd guess quickly. This one, we got kind of tropical looking trees. Sun is to the south, so northern hemisphere. Thinking of Colombia. Also thinking of... yeah, I'm thinking of Colombia more than the other countries, so let's see it. Ends up being in Taiwan. That's definitely a tough Taiwan round. That's a streak ender right there, so fortunate that we didn't get it when we were on a nice streak. But 12 has not really come too easily this round. 4 is our best so far. This one feels like UK or France or Ireland. Might like France, actually, but could easily be UK. Definitely an overcast day, so maybe that's more typical of the United Kingdom, but yeah, something about this tree reminds me more of France, and the fence as well. No, I changed my mind. Let's go for UK here. Ends up being in Jersey, so that's why it had such like a mixed vibe. You see, this noggin is doing some of the computing a decent amount, but of course we get the right country there. And so we just now have Generation 4 in Slovakia as well as Czechia, so now we have to worry about that. And so could this be our first ever Gen 4 Slovak round as well? Yes, it could be. Honestly, I kind of like Slovakia more here. I'm gonna go for it. Screw it. Let's see if we're at... Oh man, it was just Czechia. Oh, the classic 50-50. At least I got that it was Czechoslovakia, but yeah, no good there. Okay, next one here. Feeling Nigerian, I would say. Houses definitely feel Nigerian, but it could also be Kenya. I do consider that this could be Kenya. All the houses have walls around them, which you definitely see a lot in Nigeria. So I think I will go there, but actually without the telling what side of the road we're driving on, it's not so easy. So let's go in over here. Ends up being in Accra. Wow. Ghana obviously is well possible when you see around like that looks kind of like Nigeria, but yeah, I was thinking Nigeria more there, I must say. This one feels rather Mexican, I would say. So where's the sun then? So shadows kind of being cast more to the north, so sun should be in the south, which means northern hemisphere. I like Mexico over Colombia here, I think. And it ends up being Brazil. Wow, so sun was a little bit baity there, but yeah, I don't really know. Tell me if you knew that one was Brazil. This one's looks to be a Russian sign, I think. It almost feels quite a bit like Kyrgyzstan, but I think we're going to be near. I think we're actually going to be in like kind of the Baikal region, nearby to Mongolia here. Okay, it ends up being nearby to Mongolia, so I was right about that. This one's Australia. Don't really need to think about this one too hard. Maybe New South Wales, I would say. More northern, yeah. 100 kilometers away, very nice score. This one is New Zealand, I would say. These like hedgerows are very, well, not hedgerows, but big hedges are very typical of South Island near Christchurch and stuff like that. Ends up being in the North Island, but still. Here we have rifts with banana plants. Where are we? I think these might not be like normal rifts. I think these might be like kind of just like a Generation 3 glitch elsewhere, because it's certainly not in Europe, and it doesn't really strike me as very Senegalese either. I thought this round kind of looked like Bangladesh with these rice fields, but also kind of like it almost feels a bit hazy as well, which you often see in Bangladesh. I feel like that's actually kind of like a underappreciated meta, but I could be wrong. This one could just be in I don't know, Indonesia or something. It feels more Bangladeshi to me. Let's see if I'm right. Ends up being correct. Nice. So next one here, a lot of bollards before the water here. Sun is to the south, so northern hemisphere. I wasn't even thinking New Zealand was possible here. Now, obviously, I'm less convinced. This pole feels probably concrete rather than wooden, so I think we can probably rule out Greece, or at least Greece is less likely than it would have been. And so these concrete blocks, I do think that Croatia is most likely here. I think that Spain is a decent option. But with this poll, I think Croatia makes most sense, basically out of everything I can think of. So then, Montenegro is quite possible. Albania seems like an outside shot. Doesn't really feel like Albania to me. And then maybe Italy as well. So yeah, we see a lot of islands though. So that's why I like Croatia the best. Obviously, it's one of the countries where you see that kind of thing. So let's see if I'm right. Yeah, man, I was about to mention that we could be in Turkey as well. Well, it's rather unfortunate because Greece was my first thought, and we're right near the Greek islands, obviously right near Rhodes here. But, of course, it was Turkey using a concrete pole there. So we end up with another 4 streak, going very nicely at the start of that seed, but we can't even break 5 today, which is, more typical of how these things go. Like last time I just had a real freak run. Here we're driving left-hand side of the road, are we? Didn't remind me of Australia particularly, so maybe I'm thinking that this is New Zealand. Maybe it's outside Auckland. That's all I can really think of here, because it feels like a big metropolitan area, and it feels quite wealthy. So, we weren't driving left. Okay, it looked more like North America, so I was confused about why we'd be driving left there. I'm still trying to work out what was happening there, but no time to dwell on it. Sun to the north here, southern hemisphere. Feels probably more Argentinian than Uruguayan to me, but either way gives me those vibes. I'm going to go for Arg here. Yeah, it was just Uruguay, so cannot win those 50-50s today, can I? I mean, yeah, that one's basically very difficult. So this one should be Jordan or Israel. Can't tell if that's a yellow plate. I think it may be a yellow plate, so I'm going to go for Israel regardless. And we are in West Bank, which counts. So 4.9k there. This one is Ireland. That's typical Irish architecture, also nice Gen 4, so life is easy when you get rounds like this. Bollard here is interesting. All white road lines. Where's the sun? I'm thinking Chile here. Where's the sun? Sun appears to be more to the north, so southern hemisphere would make sense. It is rather... I don't want to say it is rather like kind of a strange climate. It's not quite desert, so we'd probably be near Santiago here, I'd imagine. But with the white road lines, I think this is correct. Wow. Ooh. That's a painful Bolivia, man. That's really difficult. I knew it didn't quite feel... like Chile, but I was not expecting to see Bolivia pop up there, so wow. Okay, I should have thought about that a bit harder, but the all-white road lines was deadly. Okay, so a few more rounds here for today. This one definitely feels more Lesotho, kind of like the dry part up here, maybe. Okay, ends up, being on the border with South Africa, there where it gets a bit drier. This one should be Australia, although I do consider that it could be somewhere... Oh, no, we have an Australian bollard here. Good. So I'd say maybe near Sydney. A lot of the times you get these kind of forests near Sydney or Melbourne with a lot of pines, a lot of ferns like this. But yeah, without the Australian bollard, I may have been tempted to go France or, to go Spain or Portugal there. Okay, so this one kind of reminds me of Bangladesh again, I must say, but this one could also be easily Thailand or Indonesia or something like that. House might feel, again, more Bangladeshi, I think. I think so. Yeah, let's go. Okay, my Bangladesh skills have been on point today, that's for sure. US overseas territory is the first thing that comes to mind when I see these houses. So maybe Guam or Northern Mariana Islands. Could also be New Zealand. So where's the sun then? Oh, interesting. Ooh, interesting. Like behind the mini map here, we can see like a big, thick, like white, like stone that's like a kilometer marker as well. I think this might be Réunion. I think I've seen those ones on Réunion, and that would make sense of the white line that's on the outside of the road here. I think I'm correct, you know. So where is the sun? Sun's not particularly helpful, I think, but this is a big guess. This is a big call. I could look very silly here, you understand? I could look very silly if this is wrong, but I'm kind of confident, I must say. I'm not sure what poles they use over there. This is probably just, it's going to be like one of the two things I said, like North Mariana Islands and Guam, or Réunion, but I think with that bollard, I'm going to go for Réunion. Oh, sheesh, that's correct. That is a really nice outcome. I'm happy with that indeed. And now we get an impossible round, essentially. It doesn't feel like low cam, I don't think so. Could be though. Could it be Japan? Unconvinced, to be honest. Where is it this green? I don't think it's Malaysia. Netherlands? Or something like that? Yeah. I think it is Europe though, you know? I'm gonna go for like Netherlands or Denmark here. Maybe just Netherlands. Like Southern Netherlands, maybe? Eesh. Oh no, it's just in the US. That's such a brutal round, man. Another 4 streak and another failure, unfortunately. But I'm still playing well, and, you know, you just have to wait for the right seed luck to come your way. So, let's see what we got next, shall we? Interesting, like, wooden pole again. Like, yellowish reflectors inside the rail here also made me think of Spain, but doesn't really feel too Spanish to me either. Sun is more to the north, so maybe this is Chile again, or maybe Bolivia again. You know, last Bolivia round we saw a wooden pole, and this time we do again, but I think I still have to go Chile. Well, the landscape feels kind of more actually Peruvian or Bolivian, I must say. Dude, this is ballsy. I'm going for it. Oh, it's in the same region. I'm a genius, bro. Okay, we have to do a good streak now on this seed. Generation 4. High mountains. This may actually be Slovenia rather than Austria again, you know? These houses may feel a bit more Slovenian, I think. I'm gonna go for it. Kind of confident here, to be honest. Oh no. Another one. How mean is this game to us today? Okay, so moving on here. This one should be somewhere in Sun's to the south, northern hemisphere. Okay, I was thinking of Indonesia, but maybe this is Thailand. That probably makes more sense with the sun. Am I correct? Excellent. This one looks like we're probably driving right, but it's actually kind of hard to tell. Wow. R-E-U or E-U. I'm actually not sure what that says. I think it actually ends with an N, but could this be in the north end of Australia? Maybe. This pole almost feels Mexican. I actually think with all these palm trees, it will be Mexico, you know, but white center lines, no. I think this line here would probably be yellow if we could see it properly. So I think Mexico's correct. Oh, let's go, dude. Like, I'm actually piecing together the clues really nicely here today. This pole feels Brazilian, obviously, but just trying to make sure it wouldn't be anywhere in Nigeria. I think it is actually just a Brazil pole this time, somewhere in the Amazon. Okay, we're good. Very nice. Next one. I think it's actually Mexico again. Like, I thought Botswana at first. Looking over here at this pole in the distance, I mean, there are places in Botswana that look like this, but I think there are more places in Mexico. So the sun appears to be maybe more to the south as well. Feeling good about Mexico here. This should be like somewhere up here, maybe. Oh man, Brazil. I hate that part of Brazil, bro. Okay, yeah, that desert in Brazil is always so confusing because it always rears its ugly head at like the most unexpected moment. When you just got a Brazil right, you feel good. Anyway, here we have a Ecuadorian bollard, so we can go quickly here. Very clean. We like when we see bollards, boys. Robertson Farms. This one definitely feels much more Ghana than Nigeria. These hills in the background, yeah, for sure. That was an easy one. And this one. Generation 4. Trees look quite South African, but these big metal poles in the background are throwing me for a bit of a loop. Sun, it feels like it's midday, so sun won't help us too much. This hill in the background, it's super flat. Why is it so flat? I think it's between South Africa and Mexico for me, really, here. I think I prefer South Africa, but the Gen 4 there is quite rare compared to Mexico, I would say. The trees feel rather African, one must say. I think I like it better. Overall, I definitely like it better. So I'm just going to go near Joburg here. Ends up being correct. That's a nice guess. You know, it took a bit of willpower to go there, despite the rare Generation 4. And this one is probably an easy Argentina. This is what Patagonia looks like, and sometimes it's deceptively far north, but I feel like this map often has locations that are just picked to be hard. But we finally broken the 5 curse here. We have an Icelandic bollard, which means we are going to be in the right country here. So 5 countries in a row, as well as a 20,000 score. Very solid. So let's end off the video here, seeing what kind of streak I can finish up with. Okay, it may end rather sooner than later here. I think this is Spain. I think so, but not quite sure. These poles could be Turkish or Italian too. Try and get a better look at them. Yes, not quite sure, not quite sure. I feel like bushes like this in rows are more common in Spain. That is definitely how I'm feeling looking at it. But, yeah, and it's very dry, so really, I don't think Italy is too possible, actually. I do think it's going to be Spain or Turkey, and were it not for the poles, I think I would instantly go Spain here, but the poles do remind me of Turkish ones. Oh, well, regardless, I'm going to go Spain. Ends up being correct, good. Next one here, oh no, another tough one. Good quality road, we'll say that off the bat. Man, if only there was a pole in view. Unfortunately, the pole is just out of view. I'm going to exit full screen just to see. No, we can't see the poles at all, unfortunately, which is a real bummer. Okay, so redwood trees here. Kind of like, it's a very tough round. It has to be like, it's like a massive toss-up over here. Lithuania, Latvia, and Poland all feel possible, but also Russia is an easy possibility as well, not to mention Sweden or something. Forest feels more Baltic, I would say, than Sweden. Latvia, Lithuania, Poland. Maybe I like Latvia the most here, you know? Although the foliage may feel a little further south. No, maybe I like Poland best, actually. I mean, this is just such a game of inches, you know? All 3 countries look very similar on many occasions. I'm going to go for Poland, though. And it ends up being in Czechia, man. I knew it kind of had a more southern feel to it, but it ends up being just near Prague there. So Czechia broke many of our streaks today, whether it was guessing there or guessing away from there. But we end up with a, what was it? I can't remember. That was like a 5 streak or a 6 streak. 6 streak after that Spain guess. So not a terrible effort. That's definitely more typical of what you're going to get on this map most times. But I thank you all